Elevate your life. Elevate your business. Welcome to the Elevated Results Podcast.
Welcome to the Elevated Results Podcast. Thank you for co-elevating with us and igniting that energy within you to step into your potential. Because everything you need is already within you. It's just your responsibility to tap into it and bring it out to the outer world. And in life, we always have two decisions. We can wake up and let our higher self be the guide, or we can let our ego be the guide. And we could wake up bitter and angry every single day, stepping into that victim mentality, or you could choose to look at life through the lens of your higher self. And what I've learned is jealousy can be utilized as envy, but it also comes from a space of scarcity. When you're jealous of someone else, maybe the results they're getting in their life or in their business, often that envy is in energy with scarcity, that you're wanting more for yourself and not for someone else. And that's not universal energy. That's not the law of attraction. That's not the energy of abundance. The energy of abundance is when you're tapping into the love, right? That you want something more for yourself, but for others, that you want to lift other people up, not tear them down. And over the past couple years, I really started to look at how I utilize jealousy or that competitive nature, because we all have that within us, that if you see that someone else maybe accomplished a goal that you've been desiring, you almost feel that envy. You feel jealous, like, well, why can't I do that? If they can do it, I can do it. And you almost get competitive with it. Or when you look at something and you think, why? Why not? Why can't I do it? But when you really actually look at that, every single emotion has energy behind it. It's how you choose to use it. So when I started really looking at every time I feel that way, like in business, like I said, if somebody else is crushing it and they're maybe doing more real estate deals than me, or their coaching business is growing faster, sometimes I can get in that human emotion and look at it and think, okay, I'm jealous. Why? Why am I not doing that? In life and business, it's not required that we are the best. It's just required that we're showing up and doing our best. Because when you're in that alignment and you're showing up and you're giving it your all, you're in that energy of universal abundance. So when I really break that down and I chunk it down and I look at every time I felt that way in life and business, it's really because I'm not showing up and doing my best. I'm not giving it my all. So if you really look at life and you look at your business, maybe there's somewhere that you're feeling that competitive nature, or maybe there's somewhere that you're almost feeling a little bit of the energy of envy or jealousy. Instead of letting it pull you down, look at it and think, why? Why am I feeling that way? What is that emotion actually teaching me? And then you can shift that and use that energy to actually propel you forward. So looking at it now, every time I feel that I'm almost jealous of someone for accomplishing a goal, I look at it and I can say to myself, okay, so why am I feeling that way? Because I'm not giving it my all. So in what aspects can I really break down and take action from that? How can I then put myself in alignment with the universal energy of abundance? And it's showing up and doing our best, doing what you can in the moment. And every single day you wake up, it's just, what can you do today? What is that one action that you need to take that's going to move you towards accomplishing that goal? What's going to move you towards accomplishing what maybe you were jealous of or envy of that someone else has accomplished? How can you do that? And when you really start to break that down, you can start to use that energy to move you forward. So in life and business, really start to become aware of it, because that's the first step. Become aware of those emotions. And then you can shift your perspective to that emotion. Instead of allowing it to hold you hostage, you can use it to move you forward. And there's different tools that you can utilize. But the first one is, if you want better answers, ask better questions. So in those moments when that jealousy or envy comes up, why are you feeling that way? Ask yourself that and really start to become aware of the feelings, aware of maybe where they're coming from. What is that root cause? And when you do that inner work, you're actually freeing yourself to step into that next best version of yourself, the version of you that's needed to accomplish your dreams and your goals. And so now when I look at my own life and I look at my own business, when I feel that way, I know it's because I'm out of alignment with where I'm supposed to be in that moment, of where I'm supposed to be at accomplishing my dreams and goals. So you can actually utilize as a metric to move you forward, to move you through those feelings into action. And when I look at what that looks like in other aspects, it's emotions. So like Tony always says, everybody has an emotional home. Some people in a moment of crisis, their first place that they go to is anger. Some people, it's annoyance, it's irritation. Some people instantly panic and they freeze. Some people laugh. I know when something happens, that's my tendency is sometimes I laugh. When you're in an awkward situation, you have that emotional home. But it's learning, okay, that's what I do. So become aware of it and then shift. What do you want to do? How do you want to act? Because the first step to change is becoming aware of that and then implementing a new pattern. So in life and business, everything is a pattern. We all are habitual beings. We do the same thing. We have a routine. We do the same thing. Maybe in an interaction in business, there's a way that you used to act. But for you to show up as that version of you that you want to be, you need to react in a different way. Instead of going into that emotional home of being angry or being afraid and letting those emotions just completely halt your progress, you can look at it and just become aware. Ask yourself a better question. So Tony always says, primary questions. If you want a better answer, ask a better question. How that looks is instead of focusing on all the problems, it's what if all my problems were actually gifts? And in that moment, you'll start to look at a problem or something that you thought would be the end of the world, and you can start to look at it as a gift. If someone's being rude to you in business or you didn't get the result you wanted, what's the gift in that situation? What is it teaching you or how is it helping you grow? And so when you can start to implement those little changes, they're millimeter shifts in your life and in your business. But when you can tap into that, you can be in alignment with who you're truly meant to be before life happened and experiences happened and shaped you into a version maybe that has limiting beliefs, scarcity based, things that really don't serve you anymore. You can start to let them go because you're no longer putting your focus there. And again, where focus goes, energy flows. So if you're always focusing on what's wrong, you're going to start to see more of that. So our brains were created when we look back to ancient time to be in survival mode. They were always looking at how are we going to survive things, not looking at how are we going to thrive. So it's our job to rewire our brains. We have something called the reticular activating system. So everyone has a reticular activating system, which is also known as the RAS. Mel Robbins likes to use the analogy that it's the bouncers of your mind. So when you start focusing on something, maybe you want a new vehicle, you want a new red car. Well, all of a sudden, everywhere you look, that car that you want is going to be there. I know it's one of my goals that I've always wanted a black G-Wagon. And every time I start thinking about this G-Wagon, I start seeing it everywhere. It's in a city where normally people don't even have G-Wagons, but somehow it's there. That's because that's our reticular activating system doing its job. What you're focusing on, it's going to create more of. So that's how you can manifest things in a positive way, but that's also how it can hinder you. Because if you're focusing on how shitty the economy is, how awful your business is, how difficult your life is, how everything is falling apart, or even when we look at what's going on in the world around us, we're going through a shift. We're in the age of the Aquarian, so we're in a new age of business. Energy is different. So as energy shifts, things start to fall apart. Things that used to work aren't working the same way anymore. That's in society, that's just in life, that's in business. But we could focus on how things are going wrong. We could focus on all the bad, and we're going to start to see more of it. It's just like the algorithms in social media. If you're searching that, so for me, I love animals, I love yoga, I love mindset. That's what my algorithms are going to show me. That's what's going to pop up is based on my beliefs because that's what I'm searching. It's just like the RAS. It's like the algorithm of your phone. It's like the algorithm of social media. You're going to see what you're focusing on. So again, when you put your energy into it, it's going to be amplified. And everything is energy. Money is energy. People are energy. Everything in the universe is energy. So be mindful of where your focus goes because that energy is going to start to flow there. So when we look at how you can utilize that to really start growing your business or elevating your life and just unleashing your results, be mindful of your focus. Be mindful of what you're thinking about. Now, it's not saying that we're not going to have those thoughts. It's not saying that our brain's not going to go back to the way that it was wired. It's just that there's different tools and strategies that you can start to implement to make those shifts, to make the millimeter shift so that after you do it over and over again, because repetition is the mother of all skills, as Tony Robbins would say, after you do it over and over again, eventually you're going to rewire your neural pathways in your brain that that's how you're going to think. You're going to naturally go to abundance space, focusing on what the gifts are, focusing on the good in the situation. So even when you're navigating a chaotic problem at work or in your life, you're able to be in alignment with the energy of looking at how it's happening for you. You're going to look at it in a gifted situation. You're going to see the good in the situation. You're going to stay calm. Your nervous system is going to stay grounded and calm, and you're going to be able to navigate through those problems a lot easier. You're going to be able to be the solution to the problem versus being in that reactive mode where you're like gasoline on the fire. And when you look at life and business, you get paid on the amount of value that you're providing. So when you're providing a value through business and then you can't manage your emotions, look at what that could cause. That could cause a lot of chaoticness in your business and life, right? So it's really about being able to master your emotion, and change starts with us. So utilizing the primary questions, start noticing what questions are running through your mind every single day. What are you asking yourself? What is that self-talk like? When you think about your business, what are your first thoughts? When you wake up in the morning, what are your first thoughts? I know I talk about morning rituals a lot, but I naturally, when I wake up, am not the happiest person. It takes me a while to get primed into the version of me and into the thought patterns that I want to be. And that's always elevating, because the version of me that I want to become is still evolving every single day. But that all started when I first started to make the changes, was asking myself that exact question. What if all my problems were gifts? How is this happening for me, not to me? And I would ask myself that question over and over again. When something would happen, something catastrophic, I would ask myself, how is this happening for me, not to me? What is the gift in the situation? How is this helping me grow? So I'm inviting you to start integrating that simple tool into your life and business, and start noticing how you start to change. Start noticing how your ego isn't in the driver's seat anymore, and how you're starting to use those emotions to actually fuel you forward instead of paralyze you. First step, become aware. Notice it. That's how you interrupt a pattern, is by becoming aware of that pattern. Just noticing it, becoming aware. Instead of reacting right away, taking a moment just to pause and ask yourself that question. How is this happening for me, not to me? What if all my problems were gifts? And just allowing yourself that time and space to process it. Some people are visual, like to write things down, write it down. Other people, you just might want to think about it, notice it, and then just notice how it even shifts the way you feel in that moment. Next time you start to go into that emotional home, whatever your emotional home is, when something chaotic happens, I challenge you to do that. Just become aware. Notice the emotions behind it. What are those driving force energies behind it? And then shift it by asking a better question. What is your primary question? Something so simple can completely reframe the way you're looking at something. And once you've done that, now you've interrupted a pattern. Now you can create a new pattern. Now you can start to utilize the reticular activating system as a tool to manifest, to bring forward your dreams and goals. By looking at that, because again, your RAS, your reticular activating system, is like the bouncer of your mindset. You get to decide what thoughts you let in. You get to decide what comes through the doors. It's not saying they're not going to show up. They might come to the bar, they might want to go, but you're the bouncer. You get to decide what is allowed into your mindset. What are you allowing into your life? You get to decide. Every single day, every single moment, you get to decide. What are the thoughts you're going to focus on today? So are you going to let your RAS start manifesting things you don't want? Or are you going to manifest the life and dream and business of your desires? Because the choice is yours. So become aware of it. Shift your focus. Ask yourself better questions. And start to see how everything will start to change around you. Start to notice how life can change in an instant. And it's those millimeter shifts. Because often when you think about making a change, it can be scary. Like thinking, I have to do so much. It's going to be so difficult. Where you're right, if you're focusing on how hard it's going to be hard. But if you focus on what you can do in this moment, what you can do right now, what is in your control. Don't focus on what's not in your control. Focus on what's in your control. We can't change the world. We can't change the new age of business, but we can focus on what's in our control. It comes down to reframing your mindset, utilizing it as a tool, harnessing the power of the universal energy, and igniting you forward. The decision is yours. And so when I look at how we're changing in life and in business as we enter into this new age of business, things are really changing. And we look at some of the most successful businesses of our time, things are evolving at a rapid pace. We look at artificial intelligence, we look at AI, and I know even to think back to when I was a kid, thinking about AI and robot movies just seemed like it was so far-fetched. It didn't feel like it could be reality. I don't know how you guys feel, but I just felt like there's just no way in my lifetime are we ever going to get there. But we look at today, look at what AI can do. It's completely mind-blowing, and we've just touched the surface. And I know there's that fear that AI is going to take us over, that robots are going to take our jobs. They're going to eliminate what we're going to do. But again, if we can anticipate where the world's going, where the business world is going, we can utilize that, and we can actually utilize it to help us in our business. We can utilize the AI to just automate our results, essentially, to elevate our results, to make things more effective, to make us better at our jobs. So instead of letting it take our jobs over and eliminate our jobs, we can start to learn and utilize and start building things with AI that are going to actually help our business, that are going to help us to be more effective, that are going to help us to learn and close the gaps from where we are to where we want to be in our business by utilizing technology. So as we navigate, when you look at your life, you look at your business, we look at where the world's going. Yes, technology is everywhere. We're not going to get away from it. But we are moving into a spiritual change and a spiritual realm where we still need to tap inward. And that's something that AI will never be able to replace. It's not going to be able to replace our intuition. Yes, you can ask it questions. Yes, it knows the answers. Yes, there's ways that it's being able to evolve and actually physically do things, which is super cool and mind-blowing. What you can do in an instant, something that used to take somebody hours or weeks or months to create, people can do in like 20 minutes. But the truth is, that's still not your intuition. And it'll never replace that intuition that we all have. As intuitive beings, we have that force to connect to our intuition, to our inner power, and utilize the energy of abundance, utilize the universal energy, where AI is not going to be able to do that. But we can use it as a tool. We can use it as a tool to move us forward. But we still need to stay grounded. We still need to stay connected to our inner power. And as we navigate through the age of Aquarius, we're really seeing that call for community, that people are really wanting to connect with other people, that people are really stepping into a higher consciousness, and they're starting to tap into their inner power. And so I just want to remind people that yes, we're moving through this technological technology age. And things are evolving at a rapid pace. But we still have to take care of our inner power. That is not replaceable. There's nothing that will ever be able to outpower your inner power, your intuition. So even though when you ask ChatGPT or you ask one of the other AI platforms, you ask it a question, it's going to know the answer. It could help you. You could use it as a strategy. It could help you build out the strategy of how you're going to do something. But when you look at the success formula, the first two steps, which are the most important, because again, the power of your RAS, the power of your mindset, the first two most important ingredients is the certainty, the confidence that you're going to do it, and the clarity, knowing what you want to do. And within that clarity is when you allow your intuition to be your guide. It's when you tap into what inspires me, what motivates me, what excites me, because there's that energy with it. And if you can lean into that, you're going to step into alignment with the energy of the universe. And then you can utilize that technology as a platform to create a strategy on how you're going to do it. Then it's your job to execute it. But if you start using the different ways with AI, yeah, it might work. But again, you're creating a business. Maybe it's not something that inspires you, or maybe you're not intuitively connected to it and you don't have that emotional energy behind it. Cool, you have a strategy. It might work, but you're not connected to the why. The reason's not there. the energy behind it of what inspires you, what motivates you won't be there. Where when you connect to your intuition, you're clear on what your vision is, and then you cultivate that certainty within yourself that you're going to accomplish it, then you can leverage that strategy utilizing AI to completely kickstart it. So as we start to navigate through this changing world and this new age of business, it's again all about balance. It's all about alignment, and it's figuring out what recipe will work for you. Some people might not want to use AI. They might not want to come with us as we start to elevate into this new age. When Netflix came to Blockbuster with the idea of how they were going to be in everyone's living room, Blockbuster said there's no way it's going to work. And they wanted to stay shackled to the ways of the past. They didn't want to change. They didn't want to see what was going on. They didn't want to anticipate how the world was changing. They went bankrupt. And now Netflix is in everyone's living room probably more than once. It's everywhere because they anticipated what the change was going to be, and then they stepped into it. So in life and business, I feel like technology's there. You might try to eliminate it, but it's still going to be there. So why don't you use it instead of let it use you? But make sure you still stay connected to your rituals. Make sure you still have those rituals in place to really ignite your intuition, which comes down to turning off technology, unplugging from it. I know I get headaches all the time from looking at my screen. My eyes have declined substantially because I'm always on my phone, I'm always on my computer, and I notice that my energy drains sometimes when I'm around technology. We still need to unplug. We still need to actually connect to earth. We need to be grounded. We need to really give ourselves that space to be in alignment with our intuition, to be in alignment with who we really are. And so sometimes you walk around, and I know I see this all the time, where kids are just plugged into their iPad, or they're always constantly watching TV. There's screens everywhere. And when we're doing that, it's just a reminder that you still need to unplug. You still need to refuel. And that comes with an inwards connection to your intuition. So make sure as you navigate through this new age of business, as we move into the age of the Aquarian, into this new world, this new energy, that you're still taking care of your inner light, that you're still taking care of your intuition, and you're doing those rituals. You're making sure you're taking care of your mindset. You're making sure that you're taking care of your body, that you're in energetic alignment, and that you have a balance. Because in life and business, it's all about balancing, finding that alignment that's true to who you are, to igniting your purpose, to fueling your drive, and to unleashing your results. So thank you for co-elevating with me. Again, business is a spiritual game. So as you navigate through the new age of business, that's your reminder to utilize the power of spirituality in your life and business to unleash your results. So if there's one action for you to do today, it's to become aware. I hope you take this and you can become aware, and some kind of insight comes forward for you in how you're going to navigate in life and business, how you're going to take care of your own inner light and keep igniting your intuition. I'll see you next time. Thank you for co-elevating with us today. If you found value in this, make sure you like and share it with your friends and family. And join our community by pressing subscribe. This is a space where we co-elevate, we'll inspire, motivate you, and push you to unleash your infinite potential and elevate your life and elevate your business with elevated results.